community.
It's
the committee meetings are happening immediately after.
All right, we're going to have indigenous people talking and
States
from
left,
Minnesota.
They're from the area that would be impacted by the Keystone
worker
Pipeline.
rights and jobs, health care. That's to my left.
Kevin Zisa just he's going to introduce us, and then they're going to be speaking up on the stage in just a few minutes.
And education, that's 2 committees. By the storytelling tent, wars and militarism, that's 1. Human rights, number 2. Food and water, number 3. By the soapbox, 3 committees. Financing and economics, transportation and environment. Across the street at the park, behind the porta potties. Government, 1 committee, elections the other.
Now these guys here,
and then to my right,
this guy here is Keith.
over just past
Kevin, I'm sorry.
legal.
I'm Kevin too. And Kevin is
Ryan.
Media.
Nice to meet you.
Well, sure, if you want. You guys introduce yourselves. Before you talk, you just talk to him for a few minutes. Kevin is writing for Fire Dog Lake. It's a very big news site that covers political activity, and Kevin is doing an incredible job on Wall Street. He's down here doing this now. He's going back to Wall Street, I think.
Maybe for a couple of days. But our founder was arrested with the tar sands. Our founder was arrested with the tar sands people who went to the White House and did the civil disobedience action. So I don't know. I mean, would you tell us your background, like what brought you here to the plaza today?
Thank you.
We were all involved in the hearings, the pipeline hearings that are taking place in the Ronald Reagan building. And we're from different parts of U.S. and Canada. I'm from Northwest Territories, which is east of Alaska. And we're downstream from the tar sands development. And so we are explaining our concerns to the world, so that they know that where this oil is coming from, it's affecting our lives, because there are tailings ponds that are toxic, that leaks into the water and into the environment, affects us, the animals around us, the aquatic life, and so on. And huge amounts of water that are being used in the extraction of the oil, and our water body, our water has dropped 10 feet in some areas. So we're very concerned. If this pipeline is developed through the U.S., it means expansion of the tar sands and more of what we're finding today. So we're opposed to it. So we were in the hearings and we talked about that.
Did you get to speak?
I did.
You got a slot. And I guess what would you say about the hearing?
Well, the hearings are an opportunity for people to speak out, and that's good. I think there probably ought to be a lot more hearings. People ought to have a little bit more time to explain what their situation is. You're given 3 to 5 minutes, where it really isn't a lot to talk about your people or your situation. But it provides people the opportunity to come out. And today in great force, we heard people in opposition for a whole variety of reasons. They include indigenous people, private landowners, families, young people, older people, grandparents, retired people,
we're not normally doing this, but there are a couple of things that I think are important to just share. One is we're all in this together, so let's not demean one another.
Towards changing the machine is what we're talking about too, because
let's be in unity together and discuss things openly.
That the old way of doing things is not going to work anymore.
And that includes
the Bush administration and those plans are gone.
Effort. We males,
President
not
Obama now has a
patriarchal.
chance to turn things around, and that's what we want to encourage.
And does it bother you that some of the people who are for the pipeline are using workers to get this through? I mean, I kind of feel sorry for them that they believe that we have to have this pipeline in order for them to have some sort of economic security.
You mean the jobs argument?
Yeah, the jobs argument.
Well,
it's just they're being manipulated.
Yeah, Cornell, we have pipelines where we're from, and it's obvious no one really looks at pipelines that to provide jobs, because they're really pick and shovel jobs, where you dig a hole, put the pipeline in, a little bit of welding, cover them up, and that's it. They're short-term, part-time. And the Cornell University come up with their study last week that verifies that. In fact, they're arguing that Americans can in fact maybe lose jobs because of the whole way this is set up. The steel is already being produced, and it's not being produced in the U.S., it's in other countries, and it's being stockpiled. So that economic argument doesn't run well, and it shouldn't be included in the bigger plan for President Obama to develop jobs.
Right. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the big issue is what it'll do to
Hi,
the
folks.
environment, like you've
Can I have your
described.
attention, please? Everyone out in the plaza,
All right.
in the far end. We have some very special guest speakers.
Well, thank you for talking with us. It was nice meeting you.
You might want to our attention. If you could please come forward. Many of you have come
Where the tar sands
hear
are.
what they have to offer us.
Sure.
I'm further downstream.
Saving the environment and the war, the issue of war and oil.
How you doing? We're with Fire Dog Lake. We're
Control the oil.
a news blog online, and we're just going around talking to people. This is Kevin. My name is Ryan. Pleasure.
And so you're going to be going on, but we'll just ask you briefly, you know, why is this such an important issue to come speak out about?
I think, firstly, my colleague has just alluded to that we are concerned with environmental issues. We do have partners in the industry, but when we realize that we're impacting the next generation, that's where a lot of the mindsets have changed. We believe that the industry kind of control governments now, so we not deregulated or not followed by regulations from
people taking these committees
organizations. So that's the most important thing we wanted to bring a message across. Yes, we impact America by shipping the dirty oil. Now the tar sands could be seen from outer space. That's how huge it is. The health issue is a very, very important thing as well. There is traces of cancer. Communities are impacted, no doubt about it. In a few years down the road, folks on the upstream going to the territories are the ones who will be impacted by the tailings fund that the industry had created. Once they see through the vessels and the water, bodies of the water, there is a lot of issues, environmental issues.
And you were in the hearing?
I was in the hearing today. I make my statement known to the court. There is no consultation from the industry with our people in Alberta. So that's what
We're from Fire Dog Lake.
we are very concerned that we have to send messages across somewhere. So they have to come to our table.
All right, well, thank you for talking.
Thanks. Have a good one. Thanks.
Rituals or different kinds of offerings that you want to make. We want to make it open for anyone to.
They're going to be speaking. I would just tell our viewers that go to the live blog for the Occupy Wall Street or All Things Occupy. I'm sure the stream's going to have the indigenous people on it.
We're actually live streaming. It's still says we have viewers on. So
sometimes we have viewers. Okay.
So we still have people with us.
Okay. Well, we can stick around and hear what they have to say. And then we'll wrap up our live stream. Just heard the chief. We just
Folks, we're going to be starting now. And
this is Kevin Zeese on
we only
stage
have
now.
a visitor who's just for a short time, so we wanted to interrupt our planned schedule to let him give you a chance to speak. People, please come forward to hear this speaker with an important message about the tar sands and the climate issue and how it's affecting local native populations. He just came in to protest and testify at the tar sands issue, and we're really lucky to have him. So please come on in here and listen to him and give him a big welcome. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. My name is Chief Bill Erasmus. I'm from Northern Canada. The easiest way to explain to you is that we're east of Alaska. I'm almost on the same parallel as Anchorage. That's where we come from. We're called the Dene Nation. We are relatives to the Apache, the Hupa, the Comanches, the Athabascans, and other people from that language family. And we're very concerned because big business is also very evident in Canada. There is a proposed pipeline that you may have heard of. It's called the Keystone XL pipeline, being proposed to come from Alberta, Canada, all the way down to the refineries in the Gulf of Mexico. The oil is to come south and then out, exported to the highest bidder on the world markets. It's not for American usage. We have problems because we're further north from where the oil is actually extracted. We are downstream. The water goes north. And what we're feeling is that because there are tailings ponds, which are toxic bodies of water, the bodies of water are up to 700 square miles of water that are toxic after the process of mining takes place. Those bodies of water sit in tailings ponds and then leach into the environment. We have people now that can no longer drink their water. They can no longer eat the fish. They can no longer sustain themselves on the land as we've always done. And now they're becoming more dependent on the state. We have problems with that. These people are also getting sick. There are rare cancers and diseases that are found within a small population, which is devastating to us. We have 30 communities downstream because we live along the river and the water system. The lake that I live on is huge. It's one of the biggest lakes in the world. From north to south, it's 100 miles long. From east to west, it's 200 miles long. It's still pristine. We're still able to dip into the water and drink it. But that is not going to continue to happen very long if big oil industry continues. This pipeline, if built, means that the tar sands will expand. They'll get bigger, more production, more pollution, which will continue to affect us. The media is only covering the concerns because we're not heard and we don't speak out enough. They're only covering the concerns of environmentalists and other people. There are the indigenous peoples in Canada that are also opposed to this pipeline, and you need to know that. We are very concerned because big business and the way the governments are working now are hand in hand. The Prime Minister of Canada and the Minister responsible, Mr. Oliver, for Natural Resources, are promoting this pipeline. We say that the government needs to stay out of industry. If this pipeline is a good pipeline and has merit, it will be approved on its own standing. It doesn't need government behind it. If government should promote anyone, it should be the small person that needs assistance. We are speaking out and we're letting Canada know that we're not happy. And we're quite pleased to do it here in America also. We are saying that this pipeline was proposed by the Bush administration. And the Bush administration is gone. That's history. President Obama now has an opportunity to start new, as he promised. We came here for the inauguration. I was here for the first time in Washington for the inauguration. We applauded President Obama. He still has an opportunity to fulfill the words that he said in terms of the environment. He can say no to this pipeline, no to that old way of doing business, and yes to a sustainable way of dealing with pipelines and oil and sustainable development. That's what needs to be done. Thank you for listening. We also have from the American side, from one of the tribes, Marty Copanez, who is with Indigenous.
That was the chief, and he was talking about the Keystone XL pipeline. We're going to break, and we'll be back later this evening with some more on the Freedom Plaza occupation. But for now, we leave you. Thank you. Bye.